In every marketing interview, regardless of the level, whether junior or senior, the 4 P's of marketing are always asked. But will you give the same definition if you are sitting for a junior role or a senior leadership position? Of course not. This one video is an encyclopedia for all those who wish to understand this concept from tip to bottom at the highest level of understanding aligned with 2025 and not from the book written in 1960. In this video, I will explain not only 4 P's but 7 P's, which is the actual full concept of marketing mix. Let's finish this topic at the highest level and highest standards once for all. The 4 P's of marketing, which is product, price, place and promotion, was introduced by E. Jeremy McCarthy in 1960 as the foundational marketing mix concept. Later, the 7 P's, which adds people, process and physical evidence, was coined by Booms and Bittner in 1981 to adapt marketing strategies for service-oriented businesses as well. The key difference is that the 4 P's focus on tangible products, while the 7 P's expand to include service-related elements, recognizing the importance of customer experience and operational processes. Whether 4P or 7P, as they are not different but same and only an expression, are enduringly relevant in shaping strategic marketing decisions. This model, a cornerstone of PhD level curricula at Harvard, Stanford and MIT, provides a structured lens to align organizational offerings with marketing demands. The 4 P's or 7 P's are not mere tactical tools. They are a strategic nexus for orchestrating customer value creation. Product defines the value proposition, encapsulating the offerings, features, quality and benefits that meet customer needs. Price captures its economic expression, balancing perceived value, affordability and profitability. Place ensures its accessibility, optimizing distribution, channels and locations for convenience. Promotion amplifies its visibility, leveraging communication strategies to build awareness and desire. People embody the human element, ensuring skilled, empathetic staff deliver exceptional customer experiences. Process streamlines delivery, creating efficient, consistent systems that enhance satisfaction and trust. Physical evidence reinforces credibility, providing tangible cues like environments, packaging, or digital interfaces that affirms quality. Together they form a dynamic marketing mix responsive to market segmentation, consumer behavior, and competitive dynamics. Let's understand the 4 P's of marketing mix first, and then once we are done with this, we will expand further to encapsulate or cover the remaining 3 P's, completing the total 7 P's marketing mix. Recent data underscores their impact. A 2023 McKinsey study found that firms optimizing their marketing mix across the 4 P's achieved 30% higher ROI than those with siloed strategies. As a leader of your company, you need to dissect case studies like Patagonia's eco-conscious mix and explore tech-driven iterations like Netflix algorithmic personalization and model their optimization using operations research. The 4 P's demand analytical rigor, leveraging conjoint analysis for product design, game theory for pricing, or attribution modeling for promotion, while navigating ethical complexities like consumer manipulation or inequitable access. As we delve deeper, let us view the 4 P's not as a rigid template, but as a scaffold for innovation, demanding strategic foresight to shape market in an era of digital disruption and global interconnectedness. Let us delve into product, the foundational pillar of the 4 P, representing the tangible or intangible offering that fulfills customer needs and drives market value. In PhD level discourse at Harvard, Stanford and MIT, product is not merely a good or service. It's a dynamic value proposition achieved through customer-centric design and strategic innovation. A 2024 Forrester report highlights that firms prioritizing product innovation aligned with customer needs achieve 30% higher ROI, higher market share growth than competitors. Consider Apple's iPhone a masterclass in product differentiation, where iterative design and ecosystem integration created a moat of brand loyalty. Advanced methodologies like conjoint analysis optimize features bundles. quantifying trade-offs in consumer utility, while diffusion of innovation theory, segmenting adopters from innovators to laggards, guides market entry timing. Howard's case method might dissect Tesla's over-the-air updates, transforming products post-purchase, while Stanford's entrepreneurial lens emphasizes agile development as seen in Canva's rigid iteration to capture creative markets. MIT's quantitative rigor would model product lifecycle management, balancing R&D cost against obsolescence risk. A 2023 McKinsey study notes 70% of consumers prefer eco-conscious products, driving innovations like Adidas recyclable sneakers. Digital products like Netflix algorithm-driven content leverage AI for hyper-personalization, redefining value delivery. Yet ethical challenges, planned obsolescence or data privacy in smart products demand scrutiny. Emerging trends such as co-creation platforms like Lego Ideas or blockchain-verified authenticity signal product's evolution. Product is not static. It's a strategic canvas weaving innovation, analytics, and purpose to shape markets and redefine consumer expectations in a digital sustainable era. The economic fulcrum of the 4P, which transcends mere cost recovery to embody strategic positioning, value proposition, and market dynamics. Pricing is a multi-dimensional construct informed by behavioral economics, game theory, and big data analytics. A 2024 Bain & Company report reveals that firms employing dynamic pricing strategies, adjusting prices in real time based on demand, competition, and consumer data boost margins by 25% compared to static models. Consider Airbnb's algorithmic pricing, which uses machine learning to optimize rates, balancing occupancy and revenue. Price is a signal. Premium pricing, as Tesla employs, reinforces brand equity, while penetration pricing, like Xiaomi's, captures market share. Advanced methodologies like Van Westendorp's price sensitivity meter or Gabor-Granger techniques quantify willingness to pay, enabling value-based pricing over cost-plus relics. Behavioral insights such as the decoy effect, where a third option shifts preferences, like the Economist subscription tiers, illustrate pricing psychological potential. Yet ethical dilemmas loom. Surge pricing during crisis, as seen with Uber, risk consumer alienation. MIT's quantitative rigor would model price elasticity across segments, while Stanford's entrepreneurial lens might explore freemium models, as Spotify does, to convert free users to premium. Howard's case method would dissect Louis Vuitton luxury pricing, where scarcity drives perceived value. Emerging trends like blockchain-based transparency pricing or AI-driven hyper-personalization signal a future where pricing is instantaneous and contextual. Pricing is not a number, it's a strategic symphony harmonizing profit perception and purpose in a competitive marketplace. It's a strategic weapon that defines value, drives loyalty, and shapes markets. With global inflation stabilizing at 3.5% and 68% of consumers prioritizing value over cost, pricing demands precision. Dynamic pricing powered by AI is revolutionizing industries. Like Uber's surge pricing model increased revenue by 20% in peak hours last year. Yet ethical pricing is critical. 74% of Gen Z will abandon brands perceived as exploitative. Subscription models like Adobe's Creative Cloud now account for 30% of SaaS revenue globally, offering predictable cash flows. Freemium models used by Spotify convert 15% of free users to premium, balancing accessibility and profitability. In emerging markets, micro-pricing, think like Netflix $3 mobile-only plans in India, unlocks 1.2 billion new consumers. Your pricing strategy must blend data-driven agility with human empathy. Price is your narrative of value. Craft it wisely to lead markets and hearts. So how you can set the right price for your upcoming or even existing products? Algorithms analyzing real-time data can boost margins by 15%. With this, you would be able to optimize revenue without alienating consumers. Psychological pricing. Beyond $9.99, use AI to test price elasticity per customer segment, and you will increase conversions by 8%. By 2025, 50% of global revenue will come from subscriptions. This will give you stable cash flows and customer retention. Freemium models drive 20% higher customer acquisition because they scale user base while monetizing premium features. Low-cost feature-specific plans tap into 2 billion undeserved consumers. Low-cost feature-specific plans tap into 2 billion underserved consumers. This will help you to expand market share in emerging economies. Transparent pricing builds trust, and thus 80% of consumers reward ethical brands by showing their long-term loyalty. If you align your product's price and perceived value, you would be able to justify higher margins with innovation. Bundled offerings increase average order value by 12%. With this, you can maximize revenue per customer. AI tailors prices to individual willingness to pay, used by 40% of e-commerce giants because this boosts profits without broad discounts. Smart constructs ensure price transparency, adopted by 15% of the retailers. This reduces disputes and enhances credibility. The conduit of value delivery within the 4 Ps encompassing distribution channels, logistics and market access. Far from mere physical distribution, Place is a strategic ecosystem orchestrating omni-channel experiences and supply chain resilience. A 2024 Gartner study notes that firms with integrated omni-channel strategies, seamlessly blending online, mobile, and physical touchpoints, achieve 20% higher customer retention than fragmented competitors. Consider Nike's direct-to-consumer pivot, bypassing retailers to control brand experience, a trend called disintermediation. Advanced frameworks like multi-echelon inventory models optimize distribution networks, minimizing cost while ensuring service levels. Stanford's tech-driven lens highlights AI-powered logistics like Amazon predictive inventory placement, reducing delivery times by 30%. Meanwhile, Harvard's case study, such as Zara's fast fashion supply chain, showcase agile distribution as a competitive moat. Place also grapples with sustainability. A 2023 Deloitte report found 60% of consumers prefer brands with carbon-neutral logistics. Digital platforms like Shopify empower SMEs to globalize distribution, leveling the playing field. Yet challenges persist. Channel conflict, as seen when Apple's direct stores clashed with resellers, demands careful orchestration. Emerging technologies like drone delivery or blockchain for supply chain transparency redefine Place's frontiers. Please understand, Place is not just about reaching customers. It's about architecting accessibility, efficiency, and trust in a hyper-connected, ethically conscious world. In near future, Place is no longer just a store or website. It's an ecosystem where customers live. With 85% of global retail sales now omni-channel, seamless integration across physical, digital, and virtual channels is non-negotiable. Amazon's same-day delivery, powered by 1,000 plus micro-fulfillment centers, captures 45% of US e-commerce. Meanwhile, 60% of luxury buyers demand in-store experiences enhanced by AR. Direct-to-consumer channels like Nike's now drive 40% of its revenue by passing middlemen. In Asia, super apps like WeChat integrate shopping, payments, and social, serving 1.3 billion users. Supply chain resilience is critical. 90% of Fortune 500 firms now use AI for logistics optimization, cutting cost by 15%. Virtual stores in the metaverse, adopted by 25% of retailers, are redefining access. Leaders, your distribution strategy must be agile, integrated, and customer-obsessed. Place is everywhere. Master it to dominate markets. I'm highlighting few points for you to remember before finalizing Place for your product to sell and reach its customers. Unified physical digital experiences increase customer spend by 20%. DTC channels cut cost by 10% and improve margins. They control brand narrative and data. Virtual stores like Metaverse Marketplace drive 30% engagement for early adopters because they reach Gen Z in immersive spaces. Predictive logistics reduce delivery times by 25%, which makes them cost-efficient and reliable. Localized warehouses like fulfillment centers cut last mile cost by 20%. They make faster delivery and happier customer. AR try-ons increase conversion rates by 35% because they bridge online-offline gap. Carbon neutral logistics appeal to 70% of consumers. Real-time stock tracking reduces out of stocks by 40%, maximizing sales opportunities. Promotion is a communicative heartbeat of the 4Ps, orchestrating awareness, persuasion, and loyalty in cluttered marketplace. In PhD-level study at Harvard, Stanford, and other top universities, promotion is dissected through integrated marketing communications or IMC, blending advertising, PR, sales promotions, and digital campaigns. A 2024 Nielsen study reveals that brands leveraging IMC achieve 25% higher campaign effectiveness than siloed approaches. Take Coca-Cola's Share a Coke campaign, which personalized bottles to drive emotional engagement, boosted sales by 2% globally. Advanced tools like attribution modeling quantify ROI across touchpoints, as MIT's data-driven approach would demand, while Stanford's entrepreneurial focus explores growth hacking. Dropbox referral program, for instance, grew users 3,900% via viral loops. Harvard's semiotic lens decodes cultural narratives in ads, ensuring resonance across diverse segments. A 2023 eMarket report notes that 60% of ad spend now targets programmatic advertising, using AI to micro-target audiences. Yet ethical pitfalls, misleading claims, or invasive retargeting risk trust erosion, as seen in backlash to Cambridge Analytica. Emerging trends like immersive storytelling via AR or influencer marketing, as 90% of Gen Z trust influencers, redefine engagement. Purpose-driven campaigns like Dove's Real Beauty resonates 3x more than transactional ads. Please remember, promotion is not noise. It's a strategic dialogue, weaving data, creativity, and ethics to build enduring consumer relationships in a digital age. In fact, in 2025, promotion is about crafting stories that resonate in noisy world. With $1.2 trillion spent globally on advertising, as I said before, programmatic advertising, which is a real-time ad optimization driven by AI, now accounts for 90% of digital ad spend, delivering 25% higher ROI. These real-time ad optimization boosts maximum ad spend efficiency. Social media influencers with 3.7 billion followers globally drive 18% of purchase decisions. As I always say, micro-influencers like 10,000 to 100,000 followers drive 25% higher engagement. They offer cost-effective trust building. AI-driven content tailoring lifts conversions by 18% because they deepen customer connections, while integrated campaigns across channels lifts ROI by 12% because it amplifies reach and impact. Authentic reviews drive 20% higher trust because they amplify credibility. Netflix tailored trailers lift engagement by 15%, yet privacy matters at 80% of consumers demand transparent data use. TikTok's shoppable videos generate $50 billion in sales, while 55% of consumers trust user-generated content over brand ads. In-app purchases grow sales by 30%, making shortened purchase journeys. Purpose-driven campaigns like Patagonia's boost loyalty by 30%, while value-based campaigns increase brand equity by 15% because it attracts loyal advocates. In the metaverse, immersive ads increase recall by 40%. Because they capture next-gen audiences. Personalization is king. Your promotion must be authentic, tech-savvy, and human. People comprise of your employees, customers, and communities. They are the pearls of your brand. With 78% of consumers choosing brands with empathetic services, human connection is paramount. Companies like Zappos investing in employee training see 20% higher customer satisfaction. AI augments but doesn't replace human touch. 70% of customers prefer human agents for complex issues. Diversity drives innovation. Firms with inclusive teams outperform peers by 15%. Gig economy platforms like Upwork empower 60 million freelancers globally, offering scalable talent. Customer co-creation, as seen with Lego's Ideas platform, boosts engagement by 25%. Meanwhile, 85% of Gen Z value brands supporting social causes. In 2025, people are your competitive edge. Empower your teams, listen to your customers, and champion communities to build trust and loyalty that transcends markets. Empathetic service increases customers' lifetime value by 20% because they build unbreakable loyalty. By upskilling workforce and continuing training, boost employee productivity by 18%. AI handles 60% of routine queries, freeing humans for high-value interactions. But diverse teams always wins because inclusive workforce drive 15% higher revenue growth, unlocking creative solutions. In 2025, gig economy is also at a scale. With access to 70 million influencers, globally cuts hiring costs by 25% because flexible, specialized talent. Involving customers in product designs lifts retention by 22% because then customers have deeper brand connection. We also know that purpose-driven brands attract 80% of Gen Z, which is a future-proof market share. Engaged employees amplify brand reach by 30% on social media because it's organic promotion. AI-tailored learning paths improve employee performance by 12% because AI maximizes human potential. Local initiatives increases brand trust by 18% because it creates stronger stakeholder bonds. Process is the invisible architecture of customer delight. Streamlined operations drive 90% of customer satisfaction. Amazon's one-click checkout powered by predictive algorithms cuts cart abandonment rate by 30%. Automation dominates. 65% of businesses now use RPA, which is robotic process automation, because it cuts operational cost by 30%, saving $1.2 trillion annually. Yet human oversight remains critical. 75% of consumers distrust fully automated systems. Agile processes like Spotify's squad model accelerate innovation by 20% because it helps in staying ahead of competitors. In supply chains, blockchain ensures 99.9% traceability, boosting consumer trust up to 80% because they enhance brand credibility. Customer journey mapping adopted by 80% of Fortune 500 firms lift conversion rates by 15% because they optimize every touch point. Your processes must be agile, transparent, and customer obsessed. Flawless execution is your brand's silent promise. Deliver it to dominate. Here are a few facts about the process in 7 Ps. Seamless processes reduce churn by 25%. Hybrid processes improve decision accuracy by 18%. Processes monitoring boost efficiency by 12% because they are ready with proactive issue resolution. Green operations appeal to 70% of the consumers because they differentiate with purpose. Cloud-based processes support 50% faster scaling because of global expansion readiness. Lead methodologies cut waste by 20% and maximize profitability. A physical evidence is the tangible proof of your brand's promise. Experiential retail boosts sales by 25% because they create lasting brand impressions. With 82% of consumers judging brands by their physical touchpoints, every detail matters. Apple's minimalist store drives 40% higher footfall than competitors. Digital evidence like intuitive UI UX on apps boosts retention by 20% as a seamless digital loyalty. Packaging is a game changer. Sustainable materials used by 60% of CPG brands, which stands for consumer packaged goods or items, used regularly sway 75% of buyers. Eco-friendly materials drive 30% higher purchase intent because it aligns with consumer values. In the metaverse, virtual showrooms increase engagement by 35% because it reaches next-gen consumers. Reviews and testimonials trusted by 88% of consumers amplify credibility and influences 85% of buying decisions because it builds trust organically. Even post-purchase evidence like personalized thank you notes lifts repeat purchases by 15% because it strengthens relationships. Unified visual identity lifts brand recall by 18% because it amplifies recognition. Augmented reality demos boost conversions by 40% as it enhances purchase confidence. IoT embedded stores optimize operations by 12% because it focuses on efficiency and customer satisfaction. Localized physical evidence resonates with 70% of global consumers because it expands market appeal. Leaders, your physical evidence must be cohesive, sustainable, and memorable. It's the bridge to trust, build it to win, hearts. It's a bridge to trust. So build it to win hearts and markets. This was all about the 7 P's of marketing mix, which is product, price, place, promotion, people, process, and physical evidence. Your blueprint for global dominance. By crafting innovative products, pricing with precision, mastering omni-channel distribution, storytelling with purpose, empowering people, streamlining processes, and delivering tangible trust, you create value that resonates. Harness these principles to not just compete, but redefine markets, inspire loyalty, and shape a future where your brand is unforgettable. If the world is moving towards AI, then your business and the strategy of doing business must also be upgraded with rightly designed high-level processes. It's time to start thinking about Business 2.0. If you like this video and you learned something today, please subscribe. Your one click is a token of love for us that we will cherish.